Today I'm going to break down the most beautiful song from Fred again called Adore You. I picked this song because there's so many simple and effective production techniques that I think anybody can apply to their own sound and upgrade their sound with them. And also because Fred again is the most popular and innovative electronic artist out right now, and there is so much we can learn from him. So let's get started. The song starts off with this art pattern that is really hard for me to remake. I'm going to make a 2-bar region here. I'm also going to load up XFER Serum, which is my synth of choice, but you can make this sound with any synth. We're going to initialize a preset, turn oscillator A and B on, and the filter. Make sure A and B are filtered. Hit this arrow twice. I'm going to turn the sustain all the way down on envelope 2, and just click and drag this over our cutoff knob, and pull that cutoff knob closed. And then we go to oscillator B, and draw in kind of a half square wave. Now we get this nice little pluck synth. I'm going to add some echo to this synth and also a little bit of reverb. And one last thing I always forget, we have to make it bend. So this ARP plays a C5 interval, but it plays it in dotted eighth notes. But it doesn't end there. He had to make this really hard for us to remake. So I'm just going to add some notes and take some other notes away. And then we end up with a pattern that looks like this that I think is pretty close to the original. Here's the original. It's close enough. Now, as you just heard, there's also a hi-hat that plays with this ARP pattern on every upbeat. And this helps the ARP make a rhythm. Then there's another small hi-hat that's kind of freestyling in the background. Now the song starts with this ARP. And it just sets up so much tension, like you know something's going to come in and it's going to be really satisfying. And that's exactly what happens, as you'll see here in a second. So I think the ARP runs this long, 8 bars. And then a set of chords come in, which uses my favorite sound in the world, which I remade with Sylenth 1. And the chords we hear are G major, and A minor, D minor, an E minor, and an F major. I'm going to bring these up an octave. And with the ARP, the chords sound like this. And it's cool, but here's where the chords get even cooler. I found this video where we can actually see how he plays the chords in the song. Isn't that awesome? So if we actually articulate these chords and play them like they were played in the real song, isn't that so much more groovy than just playing the chords back in basic form? And this is what I like about Fred again so much. It's like nothing here is very complex. All the sounds are very simple, but it's the way he uses simple sounds that makes his music so powerful. Listen to how satisfying it is when the song starts with just the ARP and then the chords come in. I swear, it's this transition plus the power of the vocal that makes the song. So over the course of the next few bars, the vocal does its thing, which is one of the greatest hooks in the world. Such a sick vocal. It's like not what we're used to hearing in electronic music, which is one of the reasons I think his sound got so popular. So this next part of the song is the second most satisfying part of the song. This is where the piano chords come in. And these chords bring a whole new element of groove to the song. For this piano, I'm going to use Native Instruments, the Giant. It has that punch to it. Really good for electronic music. These piano chords are the same chords as the synth chord, so I'm just going to copy that and bring it down. And what I love about this piano, I really don't see this done a lot, is instead of being like sustained like this, all the triggers are actually eighth notes long. Isn't that cool? And so while the hook of the vocals is happening right here, this piano slowly works in with some volume automation. And while the pianos work in slowly, there's also these little build-up drums that help us get ready for the drop. And then at this point, at bar 25, a kick comes in. Then we have the pianos. But we also have a bass that comes in as well. And this bass plays the bottom notes of our piano chords. And to make this bass, I'm going to use XFER Serum. Initialize the preset, stuff the unison up, and we're going to keep this default waveform. And then I'm going to turn on the filter and tighten the filter. That sounds like it's a little high. So I'm going to pull this down, see if we can sit right in our sweet spot in between 40 and 80 hertz. I'm going to turn on the sub. And that did the trick. Look how strong it is. So now we have what's called a respace that follows the piano. But now listen to this transition right here. Right here is where the first part of the song kind of fades out, and then the new part of the song comes in. Keep in mind the vocals are doing its thing right here too. Isn't that so cool? It's just so contrary to the basic exaggerated buildup and then big drop that every electronic producer does. Instead, we have a nice, smooth, faded transition from one section of a song to the other. And so there's one more part of this beat that I wanted to show you, and it just speaks wonders about Fred Again's style and why he's so popular. So if we take this part of the drop, it goes for 8 bars. The second 8 bars is where a counter melody comes in. So check this out. I made this sound for the counter melody using the pluck we made earlier, and then I added this stutter on it. And watch how cool this is. And then with everything, we get this sound. So here's a quick takeaway for you. Keep your music simple, keep your sounds simple, and just work really hard on using simple sounds in creative ways. That's what I think Fred Again does so well. That's a video for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out my courses and other offerings in the description below. And as always, stay tuned for the next video lesson.